Hi guys, welcome to Nano Electron. In this video, we are gonna write a simple node app and then we are gonna containerize it. Then let's see some of the fundamentals on gateway and bridge networks. And then finally, we'll push the image which we have built to Docker Hub. So let's start by creating a folder IP app. Next, I'll just initialize our node app by doing npm init. Let's do npm install express because we are gonna use Express framework to write our REST APIs. So it is basically an Node.js app which is gonna give the server and client IP address. Next, we'll install a simple utility tool called IP. I'll just open it in VS Code. So we can actually see the entries for Express as well as for IP in our package.json. Now let's create a file server.js and let's start by importing Express. And let's create an Express app. We'll now import IP utility tool. And let's make our node server listen in 3000. So I'll just do a simple console.log so that we can know that our node server has started. Now we'll start writing our APIs. The first one will start by writing a simple backslash. So next, we'll write two more APIs, one for the client IP address. So this is actually the IP address of the originating request, and that IP address will be present inside the request object itself. So it's gonna be very simple. We can return it by doing request object.ip. In our next API, we're gonna do it for server. So server IP is basically the IP address of the machine in which this node server is actually running. We can easily find it by using the address method of that utility tool. So let's start our server and check if everything is fine. Now let's hit our client IP API. So the IP address that we get as a response here is nothing but localhost or 127.0.0.1 in the form of IPv6. It is called as loopback address. Let's try hitting server IP and we get this IP address which is nothing but the private IP which has been assigned by my mobile device to this laptop since I have connected through Wi-Fi. Now let's start dockerizing the app. First, let's import the base image, which is gonna be the latest version of Node.js, and this would actually get pulled from the Docker Hub. Now let's set a working directory, which is basically the folder path of your own choice inside the container. I'll go with home/node/ip. Let's copy the package.json and package.log.json files. The destination of these files is gonna be .backslash, and by .backslash I mean that it is the current working directory inside the container, which is the IP folder. Now let's run npm install in that IP folder, since copying the node modules is not a good practice. So the base image of Node.js itself is gonna be a Linux distribution. So basically we are just running the commands that we would be doing inside a Linux distribution. And the container itself is gonna be a software virtualized Linux operating system. The only thing that is left is our server file, so we'll copy that too. If your node app is having multiple files or folders in its structure, then you can simply do copy dot space dot, by which we mean to copy all the files and folders inside the directory in which this Docker file is present, and copy it to the working directory of this container, which is this IP folder. We really don't need the Docker file itself as well as node modules, right? So I'm gonna ignore both of them by creating a docker ignore file, which is just like our git ignore. So the next step would be to expose a port, and by this we are basically saying that the containers will be having this publishable port. Since we listen in our node app at the port number 3000, I'll just go with expose 3000. And the last thing that we are gonna do is the command that we should be doing while starting the container, so that when the container starts, the node app will be running inside it. So that's it. So we are done with our Docker file, and the next step is to build it. And the artifact that is going to be generated out of that build is called as Docker image. And one thing that I want to do is to push this Docker image to Docker Hub, so that anyone can simply take it and create containers out of that image. Let's log in into our Docker Hub and let's create a new repository. I'll give the name as IP app. You can simply choose your own name. But the only thing to make sure is that the name of the image which we are gonna build should be the same name of this repository. And only then we'll be able to push that image to Docker Hub. Now let's build the image. The command to build the image is gonna be docker build -t, which is tag name, and name : tag. So the name is basically the repository name, and tag is something of your choice. It's like versioning your images. And one more thing is you can have multiple tags for your same image. The dot at the end of this line specifies that the Docker file is present in the current directory. If the Docker file is present somewhere else, then you can simply use the file argument to specify its location and its name. It is actually building step by step, and of course we're getting some warning logs. Okay, so now let's do docker image ls. Since the build has completed, we can see that there is an image called nanoelectron /IP app with the tag 1.1. Now let's start a container out of this image and check whether everything is working fine. So the command to start a container is docker container run --name, just to give a name for your container of your own choice, -p 3000:3000. So by this I basically mean that I'm telling the firewall of this physical device to transfer all the packets that is coming into port number 3000 in this physical device to the port number 3000 of the container. So, and for this to happen, the container must be provided by a virtual network, and that is gonna be taken care by Docker itself. Every time we create a container, by default, all the containers will be connected to a network called as bridge network. And then finally, the name of the image. Okay, so it has started. Now let's check in our browser. So it is actually working, but this time it's running in the form of a container. Now let's hit our client API. Okay, so this one is actually one form of representation of IP address, and this is especially IPv4 mapped with IPv6. The first part is called as the loopback address or IPv6 format of saying localhost. And then we have one more IP address in here. So as I said, whenever we create a container, it will automatically get connected to a network called as bridge network. And this number or this IP address is nothing but the gateway or the IP address of the bridge network through which the request has entered into the container. To understand this, let's take a very quick scenario. Let's consider there are two devices, device A and device B. Both the devices are present in a private network and each one has its own IP address assigned to them by the router. Let's assume this to be the subnet mask of this network, and if I take any one of the IP address of the devices in the network and do a logical AND operation with this subnet mask, then I can write this CIDR notation as 192.168.1.0/24. And what it means is that the first 24 bits or the first 3 octets is constant for all devices within the network. So if there is one more device getting added to the network, then it should be having an IP address 192.168.1. some random number. Now let's consider that I'm going to write a code in device A to transfer or send a message to the IP address 192.168.1.3. While executing the code, what device A is going to do is that it will take that IP address and compare or check if that IP address is present within the same subnet. If it is present within the same subnet, then it's directly going to transfer or send the message to device B. Of course, it's going to take place through router, but let's abstract all the background protocols. If I change the IP address in our code, then while executing it, device A is going to find out that this IP address is not present within the same subnet, and only at this time is going to reach out to the gateway or sends a request to the gateway to resolve this, just like it did with the device B in our previous case. So the gateway is nothing but it is actually the IP address of the router or the IP address of the private network through which the request gets transferred to the outside world. With all these things being said, I hope we can get a clear intuition that our bridge network is not actually present inside our localhost, whereas it is completely isolated from our localhost. If you want to learn more on container networks, then consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. It's gonna help both of us. Now let's try to hit the server IP. Okay, so this shouldn't be the case, and I have made some small changes in our code which you might not have seen because I have removed those clips. So let's go to our code and debug it. And by mistake I've removed the function parenthesis. It's not a property, it is a method, so we need to add it again. And now let's build the Docker image once again, but this time I'll just give the tag name as 1.2. Now let's create a container from the recent image having the tag name 1.2. Now let's refresh it. So this is our server IP, which is actually the IP address of the container assigned by the bridge network. And if I do a Docker container inspect, then I can actually see all the information that has been assigned to that container. And finally, let's push this image to Docker Hub. I'll just do a quick Docker login. And now let's push the image by doing docker push image name : tag name, which is 1.2. That is our recent image. And within few seconds, you will notice that the image will be pushed to Docker Hub.